Christina Universe Citizen presents New Era Religion, Episode 75, Part 3, June 29, 2022. Recognizing Critical Proximity Domains of Action. Continued from Episode 74, Part 2. So the question of anticipatory design science's predominantly metaphysical objective to manifest a true democracy is, when does the individual mentality coordinate thought, languages, consciousness evolution mindfully of critical proximity and innocuousness? Is it when this is not a well-known or popularized relevant consideration as we contemplate applicable nomenclatures for someday realizing anticipatory design science's true democracy? Logically, it cannot be by using the contradictory languages and exasperating trespasses by the governmental authorities, whose motivations seem always to gain more power, regardless if it turns out to be the power of deception, with no mitigating intention to refer freedoms to the metaphysical generalized conceptual field of systemic thoughts, consciousness, evolution. Critical proximity is not a conventional concept in physics, Bucky writes in his Synergetics Dictionary, The Mind of R. Buckminster Fuller. It was an invented phrase by R. Buckminster Fuller for his articles in the Fortune magazine 1940, but does not appear as such according to E. J. Applewhite, who assumed Bucky to have meant that it was during those events. In any case, it is the special case of critical proximity, where bodies converge due to the extreme disparity of relative mass, magnitude, and is the special, exceptional case point in universe where humans happen to exist, listed under normal, March 6, 1973. And in Synergetics 109.11, 109.68, 109.81, critical proximity is inherent to all intertransformability and inter-accounting of eternally regenerative universe. The omnitopology of universe operationally evidences one energy event coming into critical proximity, with any two wherewith the mass attraction is fourfolded every time the distance between is halved, H-A-L-V-E-D. Obviously, we do not need to remain ignorant of the coming apart phase of critical proximity, which is radiation. It can be compared to the coming together and the holding together phases, which is a mind's awareness of gravity. This contributes to evolving intellect's integrally applicable, consciously knowledgeable competence that concerns the disseminated information's generalized content the metaphysical intellect finds increasingly more interesting than the rhetorical educating ignorance of the PRJWBCS. The PRJWBCS educations are adept at keeping democracy in a confused state. The confused states instigate mental enigmas that enable the problematic personality permission to trespass in randomly occurring incidents, some of which are politically contrived emulations to activate increasingly more discontent. Critical proximity, as we can read in Synergetics 518.06, is a threshold. It is where the absolute vector equilibrium threshold persists to what we can call matter. This can be, while recalling that matter is to radiation as knots of rope are to coils of rope, and also that energy associates as matter in parentheses gravity and disassociates as radiation. Naturally, orbitally escaping from the PRJWBCS matrices of permitted ignorance, engages conscious awareness of coherence at the discerning points of interference, whereat the mental terminology with the suffix mental is worth exploring. As the people observe the governing askance, it deserves more than a suspicious or disapproving look. Detrimental, elemental, fundamental, governmental, instrumental, judgmental, monumental, supplemental. In other words, our inherent ability to coordinate thought and language with an informed mentality that shows a direct correlation to etymological roots. Humans can anticipate manifesting a true democracy, as our individual economic initiative refers to the geometric models and recognizes the domains of action, Synergetics 536.51. This is where tension and compression, one of the always and only coexisting complementarities of physical-metaphysical universe, becomes potentially relevant as key factors of a true democracy's design. Thank you for your individual focus, if that happens to be the case, and your continued interest and curiosity in this important research project, subjective to objective, experiential, experimental, anticipatory design science intention to manifest a true democracy. Links from some previous episodes are listed among today's references at the end of the video podcast, contributing to the continuity of conscious life.